Now what is different here in comparison to the Sky is certainly that geometry. You can feel it and where this shoe feels comfortable at. So finally got some decent quality runs in this shoe. This is the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Paris. Now I'm going to do the full review on this shoe because it is just so similar to the Sky Paris, which I've already done a full review. It'll also be a bit of a comparison as well. But before we get into it, guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with our quick specs here, so all the stats here just marry up with the Sky. So same price point, $330 here in Australia, $250 in the US. Now, I'm pretty sure this is one of the cheapest race shoes in Australia, if not the cheapest. I can't remember what the Puma exactly priced at, but excellent price point for a super shoe. Now, in the weight, again, it's the lightest shoe on the market, barring that crazy Adidas Pro Evo 1 shoe, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we're not going to pay $700 for a shoe. This one's only $330. But excellent weight there, as you can see, 185 grams. That's in a men's size 9 as well. Now in the stack, 39.5 in the rear, 34.5 in the front, and that's going to give us a 5mm drop. So obviously with our scores, they are going to marry up with the Sky because it's all the same. So in the price department, as I said before, I think it is the cheapest or one of the cheapest super shoes on the market here in Australia. So great work there, ASICS, 8 out of 10. Now in the weight, again, it's one of the lightest shoes on the market. Well, it is the lightest shoe apart from that crazy Adidas shoe. I love the weight here, feather light, 9.5 out of 10. And in our upper here, so yep, exactly the same as the Sky, same upper. So it's called Motion Wrap 2.0. Now this material is very flexible, it's very breathable, it's just like a net. So it just sucks the air in, keeps your foot nice and cool and nice and dry. With our heel counter, it's pretty solid here. We've got a little bit of play towards the top, but it doesn't have a solid cap, but it's definitely got structure in it. We've got a minimal amount of padding just around the edge of the heel collar there. Really nice, so finished off really quite nicely here. Premium materials, the actual padding is really plush there. I love the feeling of it. With our tongue, we've got a paper thin tongue, which is not gusseted, and that can get a little fiddly trying to get it straight on the shoe when you put your foot in. Now with our laces, excellent laces here. They've got those notch laces, which you're probably familiar with in the Sky, but also the Alpha Fly and the Vaporfly. Absolutely love these laces. They do a great job of cinching the foot down here, and they don't come undone. Lockdown in this shoe, excellent, no issues whatsoever. In the fit, true to size in the length, and I'm going to say we've got a pretty big toe box when it comes to the volume, so it's wide, lots of volume there. It's going to let the feet swell, lots of room there. Now in the build quality, it's ASICS, it's always excellent, and the stepping comfort for a race day shoe, it's pretty good as well. And with our scores, there's not too much to complain here about the upper. It is super breathable, super comfortable. The only issue with it is that tongue gets a little bit fiddly, 8.5 out of 10. And in our outsole here, so the rubber that they're using is ASICS Grip. And if you've seen any of my other reviews on ASICS shoes, you know how much I love ASICS Grip. It's just amazing. It's really grippy, it's really durable, and it's just what you want in your race day shoe. You want it nice and confident, and just in case you get a race where it does get a little bit wet or greasy on the roads, this one is not going to let you down. Good amount of rubber coverage there, so we've got lots of holes in the front of the forefoot there where most of the rubber is, but that's just to bring the weight down in the shoe and add a little bit of grip as well, all the way down the lateral side and then in the high wear areas at the rear. Now when I did look at this grip pattern, I said, yeah, this is exactly the same as the Sky. However, it's a little bit different, believe it or not. So I've got the Sky here, and as you can see here, the tread pattern is just a little bit different. So there's a little bit more of exposed foam up near the top of the shoe, which I didn't really notice. And then in the rear as well, they've got a bit of a different pattern in the high wear area at the back, but doesn't really affect anything in the outsole of this shoe. It's an amazing outsole. I love it. I'd probably like to see a little bit less rubber on it, especially down that lateral side. 9 out of 10. So in the midsole, so the foam that they're using here is exactly the same as what they use in the Sky. Their premium race day foam, obviously because this is their premium race day shoe, FF Turbo Plus. Now, it's a different setup that's in the Sky, and that's just because of the carbon plate is in a different position. So the carbon plate in this shoe, so full length carbon plate, giving this shoe lots of rigidity. There's still a bit of flex there, so it's probably one of the more flexible race day carbon plated shoes I think I felt, because there is a fair bit of flex there. But the shape of this carbon plate, it actually starts pretty high up in the rear of the shoe, and then it's got a big aggressive scoop down towards the ground, and then the carbon plate is really low to the ground here. So that's quite different to what you find in the Sky, where it still starts high in the rear, but the scoop down is actually just goes towards the middle of the shoe here in the carbon plate. It doesn't scoop right down. So in this shoe, you've got a bit more foam between you and the road underneath the carbon plate, where the other shoe, the carbon plate is really close to the ground. And in the geometry, yes, we've got a 4-foot rocker here, but it is different than the Sky. So the rocker in this shoe starts a little bit further back in the shoe, and the roll forward is a little more gentle, so not as aggressive as the Sky. And in the ride, so the first word that is coming to mind, just like the Sky, is fast. So this foam is amazing. So it's super responsive, super bouncy, lots of energy return. It's just soft enough to take the pounding out of the ride. It's firm enough just not to feel mushy and to lose efficiency. It's just got everything, it's foam. It's almost perfect. Now what is different here in comparison to the Sky is certainly that geometry. You can feel it and where this shoe feels comfortable at. So for me, this rocker certainly feels better at a wider range of paces than what the Sky does. So the Sky wants you to get up on your toe, and it's always pushing you to run faster and faster and faster, where this shoe for me actually feels better to lock into a pace. So you can just sit down and relax, and this shoe will you can just lock into your pace and tick the legs over. It's not egging you on to go faster and faster and faster like my sensation is in the Sky. So for me, this shoe feels better at marathon pace, half marathon pace than the Sky. However, I'd probably prefer the Sky on the shorter races, but this one, just amazing. Yeah, set and forget. Absolutely love this ride. 9 out of 10. And best shoes for me is exactly what it's designed for. Yes, it's your race day shoe, and also use this one for your key workouts, your threshold workouts when you need to get going. So I said before, it accommodates a wider range of paces than the Sky, and that's why I think that this shoe is suitable for all the race distances. So 5K to marathon. I know with the Sky, I've said its best use is for the shorter races, but this one, yeah, this one feels much better at that marathon pace, so I'll give it the tick for that. And who's this shoe best for? So for me, it's going to suit those stronger runners, more experienced runners, more so than the inexperienced runners, because I think this thin platform here, it's going to get a little unstable for those inexperienced runners, especially over the later stages of the marathon. There's certainly other shoes you guys should look at. So some other options out there if you're considering the Edge. So the first one coming to mind is the Vaporfly 3. Pretty similar geometry to this shoe, however, it's different midsole foam. They use Zoom X, so if you really like Zoom X, then definitely consider that one. Also going to mention the brother or the sister shoe to this, the Sky. So it's worth trying both these two shoes on to find out which of the geometries work best for you. And the last one I'll mention is the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. So that shoe is probably in between geometry-wise the Edge and the Sky. However, that shoe, it's probably a little softer and it feels like it's got more bounce than this shoe. So I'm actually quite surprised with how much I've enjoyed my time in the Edge. I thought I was a Sky fan, and I thought that the Edge wasn't going to really suit my running style because I didn't really get along with the previous version of the Edge. It just didn't feel like a race shoe for me. But this version, yeah, pleasantly surprised. This geometry certainly does work for me. I still can't pick what my favorite shoe is between the Sky and the Edge. I think they're just as good as each other, and they just suit for me. They feel better at different types of runs, but yeah, it's an amazing shoe. And as you can see there, looking at the scores, I can't split anything between this shoe and the Sky. I love them both, but I do think the geometry in this shoe is more runner friendly, more so than the Sky. But amazing scores, amazing shoe, definitely a buy from me. But anyway, guys, that is it from me. Any questions you have regarding my time in this shoe, or if you want me to compare it against anything else, just drop it in the comments below. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.